Well, it's always a pleasure. Been on in the trainings with Noel, doing these Zoom trainings. Just a little bit of background on Noel from my angle, and I'm sure he's going to be able to say he closed a lot of my Zillow leads when I had it active. Actually, going to activate it again pretty soon. But he manages a bunch of top producers Zillow leads, and he closed easily 10 deals for me on Zillow alone. And in this past, he's closed over 100 deals through Zillow. So, I mean, I love this training because the most important thing we probably have is probably generating leads. And most of them are going to come through online methods. Zillow's an online method, even though they're going to hand deliver. But even more so, like the Facebook marketplace, where a lot of agents are using, this is just going to help you cover everything. So without too much further ado, I'm going to let him run this thing. I'm going to be on the whole call. Noel, thank you for taking the time. Take the ball.
Appreciate it, bro. I hope everybody is doing good and has had a good weekend so far. I mean, well, had a good weekend. The weekend's over, but let me see here. Give me 1 second. First, before I get into what I want to get into, do you guys have any questions? Usually people leave questions for the end. But this is, I'm opening it up really quick to see if you guys have any questions regarding Instagram leads, Facebook leads, Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, any questions regarding online leads at all. Usually questions are for the end, but maybe you guys have something on your mind now that you want to bring up.
I know, Hector here. I wanted to ask you, do you consider that paying for the leads is better than trying to do organic leads?
That's a good question, but I think ultimately that depends on the agent. It depends on where you're at in your business. I don't recommend, and this is just, I've partnered with multiple agents, you know, at any given time. And I've noticed that if you're new in the business, if you're just getting started out, I do not recommend dumping $1,000, $2,000 into Zillow at all. You got to have some skin in the game already. You got to have you got to have, you know, been punched a couple times to have the tough skin and learn how to bob and weave, you know, certain things. But if you're a brand new agent, I definitely don't recommend dropping $1,000, $2,000 into Zillow. Now, if you've already made a couple sales and this is what you do day in and day out, it's not a part-time thing, then, you know, I would consider it. You know, if this is all you do and you've already had some experience, I would definitely consider it, but not as a new agent. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Somebody said something.
Alma, how
Alma,
are you?
hey, how you doing?
Hello. Listen, I had posted many in Facebook and in the marketplace, and I get hit with so many, is this available? Is this available? I answer every single person. I've been done at least 5 showings and no one has bought yet. And today I have another one at 6. It's just, do I follow up with those people that just ask, or the ones that are actually more interested? How you go about?
That's a great
so
question.
Many messages.
Yeah, that's a great question. The fact that you said that you posted a lot, you know, and
I try to do one a day, and sometimes it's every other day.
Okay. So you said that you post one a day and sometimes every other day, but nothing yet. So there's obviously, and don't take this the wrong way, but there's obviously something about the way that you're responding or approaching the lead that's not working. So you have to think about, I guess I'm maybe, you know, we can schedule like a one-on-one and I can help you out with that as well. You know, we'll do a Zoom to see how you respond. You know, sometimes it could be the smallest thing, you know, because, and I tell you that because there are people that, I mean, just George can tell you, Dennis can tell you, there are my wife just got licensed 2 weeks ago, and we've had I think like 4 offers on rentals going. This is in 2 weeks. So, you know, and she has probably 30, 40 leads in her inbox right now that she's like responding to. Whether or not you should follow up, that should not even be a question. That should not even be like, oh, should I follow up? Yes, always follow up. Always follow up. I don't care if it's a rental. I don't care if it's I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a $150,000 condo. Always follow up. And if this is for part-time agents, it's you know a little different. But if this is your full-time job and you want it to be your full-time job because you want that financial freedom, because you want that flexibility, then you have to hit it harder than anything else, and you have to follow up. I mean, there's I don't know how many, George, how many thousands of realtors are there in Miami?
55,000.
55,000 realtors in Miami. So I promise you, if it's not you that helps them, it's going to be somebody else.
Exactly.
It's just a numbers game. It's just how the probability, it's how it works. So if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. So it's important that you keep your foot on their neck, and you know, and I say that in the nicest way, but you know, like don't if they reached out to you and expressed interest in renting a property, that means that they're looking or thinking about looking, you know, they're thinking about starting their search. So that should, you know, automatically trigger something in your head, like, okay, this person's looking. Like whenever I get a lead, it's like, it's an excitement. Like you should get excited to talk to a lead, you know. No, I'm not just talking to you though.
Oh my God, it's like somebody, and I guess the way I reply, like you say, is what's scaring me. I will say, is this available? Yes, it is. And when would you like to see it? And I ask them a few questions about their credit or requirements for the rental. And they kind of disappear and they never text me back. Or some, they look at the place and they're like, no, I'm not. So,
your goal, I'm so glad you brought that up too. You have some great questions. Your goal, when you get a lead, Facebook, Instagram, Zillow, whatever, your goal is to meet the client. At that point, in the buying phase, in the process, your goal is not to, the minute that you talk about credit and talk about this and talk about all the requirements, and you're gonna scare a client away. So they're gonna get intimidated by that, you know? So you have to also think about the psychology behind sales as well. So if I tell you that hey, oh my God, is this apartment? I'm browsing on Facebook Marketplace, right? I'm looking at apartments and I see one that you posted. And oh my God, I'm so excited. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, exactly, has a little patio for my dog. It's exactly what I've been looking for. And I tell you, hey, is it still available? And I'm excited. That's where my mind is at right now. I'm excited. Is it still available? And you say, yes, it's available. You're gonna need a 700 credit score. You're gonna need a background check, and you're gonna need 3 months of bank statements and paid for and your payroll, and a letter from your abuelita saying that you've always been a good tenant. Like, they're gonna be like, shit, I mean, I just wanna know if it's available, you know? So you have to put yourself in the position of the client mentally. And if they ask you, when they ask me, when they ask you, hi, is this property still available? Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, your response should always be, yes, when do you wanna see it? When do you wanna see it? When do you wanna see it? Not, do you wanna see it tomorrow? Because that's a yes or no question, and they have the option to say no. It's when do you wanna see it? So you're automatically assuming the sale. You're assuming that they want to see it. You're assuming that you're going to meet them. So it's when do you want to see it? Do you prefer weekdays or weekends? Do you prefer mornings or afternoons? When do you want to see it? Assume the sale. Don't talk about credit. Don't talk about this. Now, it's a little different when we're talking about buying a home, right? So that's what I'll get into now. So I have...
Thank you.
You're welcome, Alma.
No, and let me add in there, Alma, and I commend you because you're on every Zoom, you're working it. just little tweak. Make sure not one. You got to stay under 5 posts a day. You got to do 2, 3, or 4, and you got to answer everybody. You can never assume that one's going to be a better buyer or leasee better than you. Answer everybody like it's a done deal. Don't think like, oh, should I? Now, do good qualifying questions once you get it, but not one. One is not enough. I got easily 100, with my mom's efficiency, like 150 to 250 in a week of inquiries. I answered everybody like they were the potential tenant. Never assume. I don't care if it's 1 in the morning, you get a message and you're awake, reply at 1 in the morning.
Yes, I do reply to every single one.
All right, perfect.
And this is a part-time for now, so that's why I kind of keep it a little on the low key. And where I live in Cooper City, so I'm trying to get through Hollywood, Miramar, Davie, staying on that route. So because it's my part-time job, I don't have to travel so far, and I can do my appointments weekends and the afternoons. So and
keep it
no
close.
like crazy of them.
I got you on that. But for anybody else who's doing this full time, like for example, if you live, I mean, and Pablo could tell you, Noel could tell you, because Noel sees it a lot more often because he's in the Kendall office whenever he's in the office. Pablo's putting leads in Broward County. Pablo lives in Kendall por allá, or in a campo over there, and I see Pablo there. Pablo, when you first started with those online lead generations, how far out were you showing properties?
Man, I was going from all the way to like Florida City to like Orlando, man. It doesn't matter.
All right, he's from the Dominican Republic. He wanted more plátanos and stuff like that, you know.
Thank you.
So I get many, that's okay. Yeah, that's a great one. Great point, but should we pre-qualify them first? I get many Section 8 rental leads on Facebook. What do you think of those? Okay, so that's the Section 8 thing is a great it's a great thing to bring up, because it is, if you're working with Facebook Marketplace, you're gonna get a lot of those, and I'm not gonna say the wrong thing, but it's important for you to understand that they take a little bit longer. There's a bit of a process when it comes to Section 8 rentals, but you never want to say, I don't do Section 8. No, I don't do that. You never want to say, no, my company doesn't do Section 8. No, I'm not interested in Section 8. Never say anything like that, because one, I believe it's against the law. There's some sort of,
let me chime in. Yes to Section 8, dogs, backgrounds, yes. Let me just chime in there.
Yeah, we do Section 8, yes. We whether or not you want to do it is up to you. Pablo, how's the process? Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So, Pablo, how's the process with Section 8 rentals?
I've only done one Section 8, and it's extremely stressful.
Why?
Because you have to, it's with the city, right? So you kind of have to wait for an inspection. They have to certify the home that is to the standards of Section 8 guidelines. And it's a stressful process, but I need you to understand that when you get a lead asking you if you do work with Section 8, this is the most important part, I think, Noel. If you get a lead that is asking you, do you work with Section 8? Yes, I do. Now, the owner is entitled to take another offer. He's entitled to take whatever offer the owner wants. But you as an agent, you work with any type of client. From there, either if you want to follow up with that client, yes or no, it's up to you. But always say yes.
Okay. Always say yes.
Let me point something. Section 8 is really, now with the COVID, maybe they are off guard, but sometimes they do make, calls to the realtors to make sure if we don't, if we answer yes. So if you have to make sure that you say yes even if you don't do it. Because if this is Section 8 calling you and you have a bad day that day and you say, oh, I'm sorry, we don't take Section 8, you lose your license right there and then.
Don't get set up.
That's discrimination law. You don't want to mess
yeah.
up with that.
Yeah, Noel, just to add in here, a year ago I had a Section 8 where they were threatening to go to report me, and my response is, here's my license number, report me right now. And I'm going to tell you why. I didn't do anything wrong. The one that decided not to take the offer was the owner of the property. We had 5 offers, okay? I don't care what they're telling you. Don't let anybody try to coerce you or scare you into working with them or into giving them the unit or the house or whatever it is. And this lady went off on me. And I said, here's my license number, report me. I'm not afraid of you. I haven't done anything wrong. And nothing ever came out of it. So guys, don't get intimidated or don't let anybody scare you or give you a scare tactic into doing something, okay? If you do it right, like Noel said, you say, yes, I will present your offer and I will let you know accordingly, and always get back to them. Document it. Email, text message. Don't do it verbally. I did it via text. I have it via text. She wanted to grab me by the throat. Okay, you're still not going to move into that property. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks, Hector. So which leads me to my next thing about what to say, how to say it. I'm gonna go through it briefly. George, can I share my screen or no? I know I'm not the host. Share screen.
What's up, Noel? What's going on, guys? Hey, that's a good point about the Section 8. But I would still always ask the client as well. There's some clients that do like to work with Section 8. There's a couple of our investors that love Section 8 clients. So it's always good, obviously, to ask your owner or landlord if they're willing to work with Section 8. Some of them don't, some of them do. But, you know, in my circle, there's a lot of investors that love Section 8. So to me, I've got used to just saying, yeah, I'll deal with anybody. But yeah, I recommend all agents to always be ready to say yes for that, for what George mentioned about the dog. You know, so, and there's people literally calling us, just asking if your place is available. The place that you have listed or anything that you have showing is available for Section 8. That's all they call for.
And what, guys, when just for you, the legal thing, there's troll attorneys that they don't even do it themselves. They have a system they pay for that basically all they do is they go to Facebook, your email for your listing, and they automatically send 10,000 emails or messages a day just to wait till you say, if you say, let me ask, done. You violated, $10,000 lawsuit in your name. We will settle out as lifestyle. I would have to say, okay, how much am I have to pay to settle? $10,000 is the average right now to settle a Section 8 violation. So always yes. It's up to your seller what they want to do, but you as a realtor, your job is to accept all offers and to entertain all offers. So yes to Section 8. And side note, Guzman's on vacation, so commissions are going to take 2 weeks, right, Guzman? Huh, Guzman? Hey. What happened?
We'll be processing commissions as normal. Agents shouldn't be.
Even on vacation, Guzman is processing them commissions.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Noel. You can move on to the next point.
Hold on. Hey, Noel, I want everybody to know that there's another, and I'm sorry for interrupting, guys. There's another system called Lotus. It was brought up this past week on the chat. And it's the same thing. Lotus is the same thing as Section 8. It applies. The rules are exactly the same. I did a Lotus deal 3 years ago, and it was very similar to Section 8. You say the same thing to the Lotus people. Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, thanks, Hector. Yeah, so that's we're good on Section 8. I think everybody gets it, but don't get set up on the okie doke, man. You know, you got attorneys and don't get set up for no reason, man. You might have someone calling you that might not even be a client. It might be an attorney trying to pick up a case or something like that, where, you know, he calls you, hey, do you accept Section 8? And you're like, no, let me ask. And then he's like, all right, we got him. You know, don't get set up on the okie doke. So when you're dealing with online leads, Facebook, Zillow, Instagram, whatever it is. So I'm going to go through something really quick. I won't go through all of it, but a lot of you have seen me do this training. Maybe some of you haven't. But there's something that I like to call LP Mama. So give me 1 second. Let me share. Can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So this is something that I like to share. It's some stats on when a lead comes in. Response time from creation by 5 minutes, initial dials to leads that become qualified. So this is from the moment that a lead comes in. This is whether through Instagram, it could be a friend, Facebook, Zillow, anything. The probability of you actually closing that goes down by a lot as time goes by. So whenever somebody hits you up via Instagram, Facebook, or anything, it's so important. And we get busy. I'm very busy, especially these days. But we get busy. But it's important that you understand that the moment a lead comes in, you have to respond. Even if it's like, okay, even if you're trying to schedule a call for later, even if it's, whatever, the moment you get a message through Facebook, through Instagram, a lead comes through your CRM and Zillow, like it's important to respond as soon as possible, because we live, I've said this before, and we live in a society now where clients want what they want and they want it now. You can order food on your phone, you can order clothes, you can order, a filter for your AC through Amazon, whatever, everything is like at your fingertips. So we live in a society where people want what they want and they want it now. So if it's not you, like I said at the beginning of the training, if it's not you, it's gonna be somebody else, one of the other 50,000 realtors that's in Miami, because at the time like that they hit you up, they're looking, they're interested. When it's hot, and you can't, as time goes by, the lead gets warm and then it gets cold. And then you'll call them maybe a week later and you're like, yeah, you sent me a message last week about you wanted to buy a property. Oh, yeah, I already have somebody helping me. Don't worry about it. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. And it still happens to me to this day. It's just sometimes shit happens and you can't get to it right away. But the important thing is to be aware of it and to be aware of the importance that of writing back to a lead, responding to a lead right away. So when you're talking to people, first impression is a big thing. So tone of voice, sound happy, cheerful, polite, clear with your words, good volume, and match their tone, volume and personality, mirroring their own energy. Step outside yourself and your own mood to be able to cater to the client. If it sounds like they just woke up, lower your volume. If they sound stressed at the moment, understand that and slow down. If they sound angry to receive a call, don't be so aggressive in trying to get what you want. Cater to your client. It sets the tone for the rest of the call. So if you call somebody and there's a crying baby in the background, are you gonna be like, hey, I saw that you were interested in buying a home and there's a cry, wah, wah, wah. Like, are you gonna try to, no, you're gonna, is there a better time that I can call you? So when you call somebody, if you get anything out of this slide, get that when you call somebody, be aware and listening to background noise, whether they're on a train, whether they're, whatever, like working, a construction site, crying babies, the kids are screaming in the back, whatever. Be aware of background noise when you call somebody, because you're just gonna frustrate them even more if it's not a good time to be having that conversation. You get what I'm saying? So being aware of background noise is extremely important. When you're talking to people, finding common ground, listen to your client, things that might stand out, or accent, where they're working, crying kids, where they live, and their energy. So if, and this is just me, man, I'm a clown like this, but if you call somebody and, they're like, hello, ¿con quién hablo? bro, I match their energy, and I'm like, oye, habla Noel, ¿cómo tú estás? You know, and he's like, no, well, Noel de dónde? Noel de lifestyle, de real estate. And I match their energy, I match their tone, I try to mirror their personality. But if I call somebody and they're, you know, they just woke up and they're like, hello, I'm not gonna be like, hey, how's it going? My name is Noel. Like, how would you like it if somebody called you and woke you up out of your sleep to talk about real estate? You'd be pissed off, right or wrong. So it's important that you listen for different things. Accent, if you hear a Colombian accent, we live in Miami, so it's a lot of different cultures. If you hear, you know, if I call somebody and they have a Haitian accent, I know a little bit of Creole, so I'll start speaking Creole out of nowhere. And then they'll be like, oh my God, you speak Creole? And I'll be like, yeah, moi parle Creole petit, you know? And I talk to them a little bit, and it builds a common ground. We're like, oh my God, how funny, and different things. Yesterday, my wife and I, we were showing a property in Weston. The client says, yeah, the piano would look great here. And I was like, piano, you play piano? I was like, oh my God, me too. So I find common ground. I listen to the client, what they say. If they had kids, if you hear crying kids in the background, you might want to say, hey, listen, I have kids too. I understand, or I have nieces. If you don't have any kids, I have nieces and nephews. I have grandchildren too. I understand. Let me give you a call later. What's the best time for me to give you a call? You know, finding common ground with them, where they live. So where they live is important. Where they work is important, and matching their energy. Gathering information. Okay, so this is the LP Mama thing that I was talking about. And if you guys want to take a picture of this, screenshot it, and I'll go through it very quick. Gathering information. So whenever you speak to somebody for the first time, it's important that you gather all the information to be able, and you can get all this information in less than 5 minutes. Give me 1 second. So location, and this is what LP Mama stands for. Location is, are you looking specifically in the Kendall area, or are you considering other areas as well? Oh, I'm looking in Kendall because I work at Baptist and I want to be close to my job, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. More or less what price range are you looking in? And I'm going through LP Mama. More or less what price range are you looking in? Oh, I'm looking between 300 and 350. Okay, awesome. And strategically, you're asking about mortgage professional right after they tell you the price range that they're looking in. Because if they're looking in the price range of 300 to 350, how do they know to look in that price range? Do you get what I'm saying? So after the price range, you say, have you spoken to a lender regarding your pre-approval? Yeah, I'm already approved. Okay, great. So you already know they got the pre-approval. That's an even more solid client to be working with. If they say, no, I have not been approved yet, I'm just getting started. At that point, if most realtors have lenders that they're partnered with, for the sake of this training, and in this case, after I say, have you spoken to a mortgage professional? And they say, no, I have not. I brag about our lender. Oh my God, well, guess what? We have a lender that we're partnered with, PRMG. They get clients approved the same day or within 24 hours with you submitting all the documents that you need to submit. And what that does, it sets up the client so that when you give them to the lender and the lender speaks to them, it kind of warms up the client, and it's like a soft pass. You get what I'm saying? Where it's not like crazy. It's not the first time that they hear about the lender or anything like that. If you brag about your client and you're speaking good about your client and you tell him that he's sharp, he's gonna take care of you, then the client feels better, you know, doing things like giving them their credit, their tax information, all this stuff. So right after mortgage professional, I say, are you working with a realtor? If they say no, one of the things one of the ways that I like to ask this is I say, are you currently working with any realtor that you have an obligation to? I say, are you working with a realtor that you have an obligation to? And the reason that I say that is because people don't like to feel obligated to anything. They don't like to feel obligated to anything. So they're going to tell you no, or they're going to tell you, oh yes, actually my cousin or my sister is a realtor. If they have a family member who's a realtor, when you ask this question, it's going to be a little difficult. Like, I don't even, when they tell me that they have a family member who's an agent, I don't even fight that. I don't try to steal the client. I don't try to nothing. But if they tell me, yes, I do have a realtor, and they don't mention anything about their family member being the realtor, then at that point I say, well, let me ask you, if I help you find exactly what you want and what you need, would you be willing to work with me? 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you yes, because you just asked them, you know, if you help them find what they want and what they need, like, who's going to say no to that? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes, unless they have a family member who's an agent. And I'm getting into detail with it, but these questions take less than 5 minutes to ask a client. And these are things that you ask clients, buyers, not renters, buyers through Facebook, even if it's a family member. This is like a guide. It's not a script. I don't like to use scripts because they're very robotic. That's just me. If you guys like scripts, you guys like scripts. But sometimes a client can throw you a question that's a curveball and you don't know how to answer it because in your mind, you're just trying to follow a script. So this is just a guide, the LP Mama guide. So after you ask them if they're working with a realtor, sometimes you like to know what their motivation is. So are you currently renting or do you need to sell in order to buy? And this can uncover another opportunity to make some money. I just got off the phone with the lead this morning and I said, okay, she's looking in the Brickell area. And I said, okay, great. Are you renting or do you need to sell in order to buy? And then she's like, yeah, we need to sell. And I said, okay, was your property on the market yet? And it uncovered a whole avenue, a whole other avenue to possibly make some money. So make sure you find out the motivation, why they want to buy, why they're looking right now. And then the appointment. I brought this up earlier about, you know, what works better for you, weekdays or weekends. I don't like to say, can you see the property tomorrow? I don't like to say, are you available on, I don't like, so the more, and this is again, psychology behind sales, the more a client has to say no, it already like builds like a negative like tone in the conversation. So if you say, are you available on Friday? No. Okay, well, do you like this house? No, I really don't. Okay, well, are you available on Sunday? No, I'm really not. It's like, no. And they're already used to saying no. It has them in a weird state. So I rather ask, what works better for you, weekdays or weekends? Weekends, because I work during the week. Okay, great. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons? I prefer mornings because in the afternoons I like to barbecue and drink Coronas. And then after they tell you mornings or afternoons, you pick the time. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule it for 12 o'clock, and then I'll give you a call back in about 10 minutes with confirmation. You pick the time. You find out if weekdays or weekends are better, and then you pick the time after they tell you mornings or afternoons. So let's see. Went through that. You pick the time, take control of this part of the conversation, and do your best to gain commitment from your client. Okay, so this is extremely important. Whether you locked in the appointment and met with the client or the client wasn't sure when to meet and they told you they'll call you back and let you know, it's all in the follow-up game. Follow up that same evening with a quick text. Follow up the next day with a phone call or text. Follow up every day for the next 5 days until you get an appointment or a time frame of when to call back. Look, if they haven't told you to go fly a kite, if they haven't told you, hey, listen, I'm not interested, then I'm gonna assume that you're still interested because they haven't told me to fly a kite. So one of the things that I like to get from conversations or from my follow-up game is closure. You know, if if they're still up in the air, that bothers me. If they're still up, like not sure, that kind of like makes me feel uneasy, and I continue following up until I get an answer, man. Whether it's through drip campaigns, you're emailing them every month, whether it's through text message or phone calls or leaving voicemails, I continue following up until I get an answer. No, whether it's going to be, no, I'm not going to buy for another 6 months, whether it's going to be, hey, actually, I'm ready to look at some homes this weekend, or whether it's leave me the hell alone, I don't want to talk to you anymore, stop calling me. I want an answer. So it's important, because then you know how to treat the client and what stage of the buying process they're in. Stay in their face, remember that they need your help. Oh, quick tip. Give me 1 second here. Where is it? I can't even. One of the things that I was going to ask, that I was going to say was, if you're working through, if you're working with Zillow leads, or you're working with whatever leads it is, when I call a client, one of the things I say is, hey, my name is Noel with Lifestyle International Realty. I was calling about a property that you requested some information on. Okay, so I specifically say I was calling about a property that you requested information on. Again, psychology behind sales. So I don't call and say, hey, I was calling about a property. I was calling because you clicked on something. I say that you requested information on. So so when you call them, they're not like, hello, who's this? Why are you calling me? So I specifically say a property that you requested information on. It reminds them that they're the ones who reached out to you for help. Does that make sense? Can you give me a thumbs up for the people that, okay. Okay, good. Give me 1 second. Let me read these questions. Wow, just visit me, yes. Always yes, good. Okay, can you share that? No, good point. That's good question. Hey, can I get a one-on-one with you? Yes. My phone number, Peirina. Yes. If you want, write my number down and we can schedule a one-on-one. 786-757-2838. Text me and then we could schedule a one-on-one. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay, perfect. So yeah. LP Mama, location, price range, mortgage lender. Are you working with the realtor? Motivation, appointment. LP Mama, it has been my guide for, it's a guide, it's not a script. It's been my guide for over 2 years now. And it helps me ask the right questions whenever I get a lead, whether through Instagram, Facebook, or Zillow. And it's like my A to Z, is like my check marks in my head. LP Mama, LP Mama, LP Mama. What else? Any questions? Any other questions regarding leads? Problems that people have when talking to leads? Anything you're curious about? Please ask away.
What CRM are you currently using, and which one do you recommend?
I'm trying to see who's asking this question. Oh, okay. So I work with a lot of leads, so I use a different one, but I'm going to recommend Total Brokerage. It works if you work it. Not only that, it's free to you as a lifestyle agent. George paid thousands of dollars for the entire brokerage to have it. I pay $200 a month for my CRM, for my wife and I to use it. But that's because I deal with with a lot of leads at once, and it just the process of from the lead comes, the drip campaigns, everything. But Total Brokerage, which is available to all of you, has everything that you need. I mean, you can send contracts through there. There's calendar reminders, there's tasks. You can, everything. And that's how you get paid. So you might as well use it, you know, if it's available to you. But if you're just getting started, then Total Brokerage is where it's at. If you're looking for something a little more aggressive, then I would use Follow Up Boss. But that's just me and my personal preference. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. I just quickly, just outside of like online leads, I wanted, there's 34 people on here. I wanted to take a moment to just encourage you guys, man, because there's a lot of bumps in this industry that you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get, you know, there's shady people, man, that are just they're not fair, you know. They're not humble. They're trying to just gain $1 out of clients, and they're not in it to build relationships. And I want to just take a minute to encourage you guys, and tell you that no matter what you go through, no matter what deal is falling apart, no matter how many no's you get, no matter what you're going through, bro, just keep moving your feet and don't stop. Do not stop. No matter how hard you get hit, no matter what it is, what wrench people throw at you, do not stop, bro. Do not stop. When I was little, I was talking about this with my wife last night, but when I was little, I played Little League football, right? And the coach, and I played fullback and running back sometimes, and the coach would say, no matter what is happening in the middle of the game, do not stop moving your legs. So I'm a little kid, and I'm holding the ball, and I'm getting hit, and then I'm falling to the floor. I'm getting hit, and I'm falling to the floor. And he's like, Noel, you're falling because you're not moving your legs. You're not continuing to go on. You get what I'm saying? So I'm holding the ball, and I'm getting hit, and I'm falling over because I stopped moving my legs. So the point, I know I went on a tangent there, but the point is, bro, no matter how hard you get hit, get to the end zone. Real estate is the football, okay? The football is real estate, and you're holding it. And the end zone are your dreams, your goals, the money you want to make. That's the end zone. No matter how hard you get hit while you're holding that ball, keep on moving your feet. Don't stop moving your feet. There's shady people in this business. I just went through some crazy stuff just last night, where an agent wanted to, she posted a listing, but she's only posting it to get leads. She let us on. She told us the property was still available. And when we got all the documents from our client and we were getting ready to submit our offer, this is literally 15 minutes later, she says it's not available anymore. And it's just shady stuff that is happening in the business. But no, and our client was extremely disappointed. But the point is, no matter what you go through, keep on going. And you have a team of people between managers at every office, between Pablo will tell you that I've called him, I don't know how many times in the last couple of days, and Pablo has literally been on the treadmill at the gym, FaceTiming me, helping me and my wife through a contract. Like, you have the support that you need. You have the resources that you need. We have a preferred lender. We have a preferred title company. You have managers at every office to help you with contracts. You have good people and top producers like Levon Beck, that he's not as outgoing and he's not as shot out as other people, but I'm sure that if you were to text him or call him, he would be more than willing to help you with anything that you may need. Same thing with Dennis. Those who know Dennis know that Dennis will help you. Just schedule a one-on-one. Marvin has helped me a million times. Any questions that I have for any of the managers, they help me. So don't be afraid to ask. You have a team behind you. You have the support that you need. And you guys can text me, call me, whatever. And I'm there for you guys too, man. So let me see if there's any other questions, guys.
Great words, and great ending to that, Noel. And he's on the money. Don't stop. Grit every day, day in, day out. And thank you, Noel, man, for all the time you take and doing this quick training. It's the most important thing, the lead generation and working these leads. So thank you, man.
No problem, brother. You guys keep following up. Do not stop following up. Stay in touch with your clients. Send them birthday cards, holiday cards. Stay in touch. Just say, it doesn't take anything to be on the couch or just to send a text and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, Pablo, what's up? How you been? Hey, George, how the kids doing? It doesn't take a lot of time. So don't forget to follow up. Don't be scared. Don't have any fear when it comes to follow up. Fear is paralyzing. So do not let fear paralyze you. Fear is paralyzing. You got to get over that, break the, the nerves and keep rocking. Okay. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.